Welcome to the Beehive State. Salt Lake City, Utah is the site for this UFL Primetime matchup as the Salt Lake Hornets play host to the San Diego Wildcats. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Colin Northrup, and joining me in the broadcast booth once again is Eric Vincent. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Colin. Good to be alongside you again, buddy.
It is good to be back, and a first trip out to Utah as the Hornets look to take one from a San Diego offense that can be a total smoke show.
Absolutely. I mean, this Wildcat offense is electric with Zach Holdorf at quarterback. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He's just absolutely fantastic and fun to watch. On the other side, the Hornets offense, they're trying to find their footing. They've got tons of weapons, but they just have not quite been scoring the points that they've really been expecting to. But their defense is going to put the sting on the Wildcats tonight.
And Salt Lake will get the ball first to start the ball game. And it will be Jay Carter at quarterback. He'll hand off to Chris Allure up the middle. And that'll be a pickup of a few out to the 30-yard line. Eric, let's meet this Salt Lake offense.
Well, we talked about how many weapons that they have. I mean, it starts right up front there with Skippy Curtis. They're in at the center position. Mia Pangori is there as well at left tackle, along with a couple other big star players. And the offensive line is stout, but they've also got great pass catchers in Alexander West and Adam West.
Throw is complete. That is to Adam West, the tight end. And for San Diego defensively, they got some standouts.
They do. I mean, it starts with the edges, James Corey and Alexander Ross. And then you've got big number 52, Zach Cobb, 6'3", 256, sitting at left outside linebacker. And he's played very, very well here. Not as many stars for the Wildcats on defense as they do on offense, but, I mean, they propelled them to a 3-1 record.
Carter, the left-hander, throws over the middle, cut over the 50 into San Diego territory, and he's in his first two passes. That one big down to West for 29.
Yeah, this is a great play, finding Adam West here at his tight end spot, just leaks into the middle of that defense there, finds a nice hole, and the quarterback did a nice job finding him. Carter, like you mentioned, just zinged it over to him as quick as he possibly could. His eyes probably got bigger than some wildflowers out here that the Hornets like to pollinate.
Indeed. Carter. Oh, nice catch along the sideline, and he's 3 for 3. Hauling that in is Alexander West.
Yeah, hot start here for Jay Carter. You like to see it if you're a Hornet fan. Very calm, cool, composed there at quarterback. Good control of the offense, calling some audibles to start things off, and they're deep in Wildcat territory.
And off. Going nowhere. Tackle made for a loss of 1. That's Corey, one of those defensive ends you talked about, Eric, making the TFL.
Yeah, and this has been kind of the hot and cold piece of the offense for the Hornets is the run game. There are days where Chris Allure will just run all day long, and then there are days so far, I mean, obviously it's just the first drive, but there are days where it just has trouble getting out of the backfield. We'll see if this continues over the course of the evening.
They've gained 550 yards net on the season so far. They start negative there. Oh, there's a positive run, but ooh, some real pad popping going on down there as Hopkins picks up 5.
Yeah, and a good hit there in the secondary by Elijah Palmer, unclaimed cornerback number 2 here in this Wildcat defense.
3rd and 6, Carter. It's going to be a first down reception as he continues his completion streak as Neely hauls that in.
Yeah, and Palmer with the tackle on the back end, but Neely, I think, just had a little bit too much speed for him. He was wide open just right out the gate, and that was an easy pitch and catch there for Carter.
Noah Neely on the reception for Salt Lake. It's first and 10 and 15. Counter up the middle. tackle short of 10 is Allure. It'll be 2nd and 8, pick up a 2 on the previous play.
Good blocking up front there, Colin. It just was better job there by the linebackers for the Wildcats to get in there and make the stop and limit the damage.
Carter back to throw over the middle. Catch made by Adam West, who's down to the 3. It'll be 1st and goal.
And we're starting to see what Salt Lake's game plan is early on, and it's a little bit of everything. They're working the sidelines nicely on these out routes or drag routes, and then finding wide open tight ends in the middle of the football field.
2 tight ends balance line. They get to the fullback. First man through the hole, and he doubles in for the touchdown.
Lucas McGregor, the fullback, just doing work. Look at this. One spin move, another spin move on top of the same guy, and is able to rumble his way into the end. Look at this. Stays on top of the defender and gets the ball over the goal line for the first score.
He earned the last couple of yards there in the 10-play drive. Caps off with a 6-point touchdown. Extra point is up and good. 10 plays, 74 yards as Iron Leg makes it a 7-0 game.
And how'd you like that, Colin? Your first carry of the season ends up being a touchdown. I mean, man, oh man, they write stories based off of that stuff.
And this is a team that had only 1 rushing touchdown total coming in. Chase McClain is responsible for the score. You see Zach Holdorf in this Wildcat attack. Payne Price is the running back. No shortage of weapons there. Hornets will have their hands full, Eric.
Oh, definitely. And Holdorf, what he makes up for in height, he has all the talent in the world. Only stands about 6 foot tall, so a little short for a quarterback. Kind of on the borderline there, but I mean, he's just got all sorts of talent, both in his legs and his arms.
Kickoff by Iron Leg is away. He fielded in the end zone. Ball knelt out, comes out to the 25. And the visitors from San Diego have it 1st and 10 as they line up in the I formation. Zach Holdorf, the quarterback under center. Give to Price. Price rumbles ahead short of the 30. Will he be marked down there? Eric, as we take a look at this San Diego starting lineup, who's going to be the big player besides Holdorf?
Well, you touched on a couple of them already. Payne Price, the young running back there in the backfield, one of the more higher-rated running backs in the league. And Rochelle Johnson, number 85, definitely a weapon as well.
Here to get the Price again. Ooh, able to make up. First couple people miss with some nifty shifting moves, but alas, is brought down as this Hornets defense, they are stacked at a couple of positions.
They are, and I called their game a couple weeks ago when they played Vegas, and I really like Don Mariano. Really great middle linebacker there. Jaquavius Locke is another guy that you want to keep an eye out for as well. He is a lockdown corner. Jan Lopez in the back end playing free safety, and obviously we saw Victor Ironleg handling the kicking duties as he's been perfect on the season so far.
The matchup between Locke and Johnson will be one to watch. Oh, as the first pass by Oldorf is dropped by the receiver, incomplete. But Sir Jefferson was open.
Yeah, he was definitely open. Hit him in the hands, and you got to do your quarterback some favors every now and again. I mean, you can't even really explain that one away. That was just a perfect ball that was dropped.
So San Diego, that's a prolific rushing attack, but they can throw the ball all over the yard. They like to run first. That's their mentality. They will be 3 plays in a punt, kind of disappointing for the Wildcats as Salt Lake will get it back. And this will be, ooh! Smack down at the 22. Hopkins probably should have called the fair catch there.
Probably should have. CJ Stewart was tracking that one all the way. Another unclaimed corner here on this Wildcats defense.
Claim your player today. Visit our website at UFL.football for details on how you can get on the field this season. It's not too late to join in the action.
Oh no.
Corner goes down. Ross on the sack, so he got ran over for the touchdown, and he says, oh, I'm going to run over a lineman this time.
Yeah, and we talked about these two edge rushers, Colin. Go ahead and look at Ross. He was getting double teamed down towards the bottom of the formation here. Somehow is able to work his way through it and get to the quarterback. Great play there for his second sack of the season.
Going to be a huge play for the San Diego defense. They don't have a lot of clean players on this side of the ball, but like you said earlier, Eric, they played a big role in this team's early season success, 2nd and 18, as a result of the sack. Here they give to the running back, and he goes nowhere. Hopkins is going to lose 2 more yards, so it's 3rd and forever.
A little bit of a commonality here with the secondary, but another unclaimed player, very talented player, the free safety, Brian Schutz. He shoots the gap. I mean, you see him. He recognizes the run play immediately and comes in with his head on fire to make the stop for another TFL.
3rd and 20. They almost have to throw at Carter, who's lined up in the shotgun, 4 wide in total. He's back to throw the southpaw. Lets it rip over the middle, and it's deflected away. So the completion streak is gone to start the game. Salt Lake will now kick back to San Diego.
And that's going to be a recipe for success for San Diego, is go ahead and get Salt Lake in these long down and distance situations. You obviously know they're going to throw the football and put Jay Carter in a tough spot, especially back in his own, deep in his own territory.
Punt is away from his own end zone. Fielded at the 30. Oh, Jefferson tried to spin off to make the first guy miss, but was only able to do halfway before he's down to the 35.
Good starting field position here. We'll see if San Diego has a little bit of a better offensive game plan after going 3 and out in the last possession, Colin.
See what they do with here is 1st and 10. Get the Price up the middle. Trying to get that run game going. So far, 3 carries, 8 yards as he picks up 2.
Yeah, and they lean on Price to do the running out of the backfield, but Holdorf is another threat with his legs as well. We'll see some designed runs, and we'll also see him just tuck it and go.
Here to give to the second back, and he gets tackled at the 40. No, that's Price again. Sets up a 3rd and medium situation. Let's see what San Diego elects to do here. They line up in the shotgun, but that doesn't necessarily mean pass, especially with Holdorf scrambling about it. He's gonna throw deep, and it's intercepted. Oh no, he didn't want to do that as Locke. Well, Locke down the field. Pass intended for Johnson, but it ends up in the arms of the Hornets, number 25.
And this is that bad man I was talking about, Colin. DeQuavius Locke, he is a lockdown corner. I mean, just look at him. Plays the football perfectly. As soon as he sees the ball in the air, rotates his hips, sits down, and retreats towards the football. And then it's just a fight here in midair to get to the football. Locke comes down with it. Only the 3rd interception all season for Holdorf. So great job here by this Salt Lake defense to go ahead and get the turnover already in plus territory.
Let's see what they do with it here. They have no shortage of weapons as they'll line up in the shotgun, 1st and 10. 3 wide, putting 1 in the slot there. They'll start off with a run. And here, Allure will get stopped after a pickup of 2.
Yeah, and Allure trying to find a little bit of chemistry here with his offensive line. Looked like he probably could have cut it back to the outside, had a little bit more running room there, but still a good gain of 2 on 1st down.
2nd and 8. They'll go to the ground game again, and to Hopkins this time. He gets tackled for no gain. Franks again credited with the stop, and just like that, it's 3rd down.
Yep, and this is what I was talking about, Colin. Go ahead and put Salt Lake in these longer down and distance situations, force them to pass, and let your edge rushers, your talented edge rushers, get in there and put pressure on Carter.
Motion man is West. Throw over the middle. Oh, I thought that was a catch, but alas, the defender made a great play on the ball, Eric. And the turnover does ultimately San Diego no harm.
Yeah, and this was a good ball here. I mean, put it right where his receiver could get it. I think just the hit on the back end jarred the football loose. Yeah, just didn't quite complete the catch as he went down to the ground.
Maron Lawrence was the guy trying to catch the ball, but alas, no cigar for him. The punt will go into the end zone. Ball comes out to the 20.
Well, you know the old adage, right, Colin? Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Well, so far for Zach Holdorf, he's thrown 2 passes, but unfortunately for him, one's been to the other team. Let's see if he can shake off a slow start for him as it's first and 10 from the 20. Holdorf fires over the middle. It's complete. And that's going to be a pickup of 7 yards. Pulling that in is McCoy.
And I like that they went to the pass first off on this drive here. It started off with the run, the first couple of drives, ran into some trouble. Go ahead and just put the ball in Holdorf's hands and see what he can do.
Here's the give to Price. Oh, he got stuck behind a blocker, and that ultimately fouled up the timing of everything. Still got a couple of yards out of it.
That's the linebacker I was talking about, Colin. Don Mariano, he's just got a nose for the football. He does really, really well in the run game as he's able to track down Price and ultimately make the tackle from behind. That's a great play there.
Good pursuit and hustle to the football sets up a 3rd and 4 situation for the Wildcats. They've yet to convert so far. Holdorf back to throw, fires. Ooh, nice catch made by Johnson, who gets knocked out of bounds short of 40, but the Wildcats move the chains.
And a much better placed ball here by Holdorf. The blitz was coming on the previous 3rd down that forced the interception there. This time he had a nice clean pocket, could locate his receiver easily, and Johnson does the rest.
And Johnson, the team's leading wide receiver for this San Diego crew, with 15 receptions, 195 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. Holdorf back to throw again. Now he has to take off and run up the middle. He's got all kinds of room. Keeps the ball close to his body, and they'll give him a 22-yard gain on the player.
And this is what makes Holdorf so electric and so difficult to defend. He does a nice job in the pocket, throws a nice ball, but there are times where he just goes ahead and tucks it down and runs and rips off 20-plus yards. I mean, you saw there was not a Hornet defender within a country mile of him.
2 yards off his longest run of the year, which is 24, and that's the end of the first quarter. Salt Lake in front of San Diego 7-0. Colin Northrup, Eric Vincent here in the broadcast booth with you, Cameron Irvine. AI expert back at league headquarters as they're going to throw out a screen to Jefferson. They're going to say that was a run. He picked up 7.
Nice job to get a rushing stat to your credit there.
Oh, RPO alert, saw what he liked out there and pitched it. 2nd and 3, bunch to the top of the screen. Holdorf gives on the counter to Price. Price has all kinds of room before he's brought down his best run of the evening so far. That's another first down for San Diego.
Yeah, you said it, Colin. Best run of the evening so far, and it was good blocking up front. He had just a ton of room there, and he was able to get into the into the second level of the defense, I should say, with ease, and converts another San Diego first down as they creep towards the red zone.
Here's to get to Price again. Price, ooh, stop this time. They're going to say it's a loss of 1 yard. And Lopez in on the tackle, another one of those players you talked about earlier.
Yeah, Jan Lopez, again, very high-rated free safety, good nose for the football. It's a commonality here with this Hornets defense. They're very, very tough against the run just because they have good pursuit and, like I said, good nose for the football, and they're able to put a stop to Price's run before it gets started.
This is a team that's allowed, on average, 54 rush yards a game, so strength on strength from that point of view. Price on the carry, counter from the gun. You don't see it very often. It pirouettes his way down past the 20 to set up a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and a good job there following the blockers, just taking what the defense is giving him there. Gets positive yardage. In fact, puts them in a nice 3rd and manageable here.
3rd and 7 from the 3rd and 4 from the 17 router. Holdart throws. Nice catch made by Johnson along the sideline, and it'll be 1st and goal at the 9.
Yeah, great job there by Holdorf. Very similar route that he found Johnson on the last 3rd down. This time Johnson a little bit more breathing room and had to actually do some toe drag swag along that sideline in order to keep the feet in bounds. Good look there with the pylon cam. Look at that. Great catch.
I second that opinion, and that was pretty from number 85 on your roster, but wide receiver number 1 for this Wildcat team is Holdorf. Will operate from the gun, 1st and goal at the 9. Going to be another pass. Holdorf decides to take up and run out the middle, and he has all kinds of room. Touchdown, San Diego.
Man, and we have seen Holdorf do this so many different times. He ranks 11th in the league amongst ball carriers, averaging just about 87 yards a game. That's insane. And needless to say, he's the top quarterback, rushing-wise, in the UFL currently.
And that's his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. He is now tied with Payne Price for the lead as the extra point is up in 10 plays, 82 yards taken. Campanelli's excited, but more importantly, that bench is excited. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, and the Wildcats deserved a little bit of excitement, a little bit of a slow start, but this is a tough Hornets defense that they are playing against here tonight. Kind of thought we might see a little bit of a defensive slugfest between these two teams before it was one of those, okay, well, which team is going to bend first? Well, right now, we got ourselves locked in a very tight matchup, which is what we were hoping to see from these two 3-1 teams.
And with 9:09 to go, the first half, we are all level at 7 apiece. Capitelli kicks off. Going to be brought out to the 25. And the Salt Lake team, they had the touchdown drive on the fullback dive by McGregor. On his first carry of the year, Eric, you covered this Hornet team a lot. It seems that inconsistency bug has paid them a visit today.
Yeah, and this is what has been happening a little bit with their offense. Sometimes it shines and sometimes it's a little dull.
Carter throws sideline. Ooh, that's a catch to Hill.
That's a shine right there.
For a 1st down. Oh, man.
That is definitely a shine right there, Colin. Look at that. Just a perfectly thrown football by Jay Carter. Finds his receiver, able to get the toes in. Great catch by Hill. Man, it's almost like they've got the UFL broadcast in the helmets sometimes.
The I formation, they have 2 tight ends. So motion Hill, who had the reception. Cross ball marked at the 44. Here's to give up the middle. Ooh, best run of the day. Was the second back through was Hopkins. Pick up an 8-2 and 2.
And Lakeem Hopkins, unclaimed running back number 2 here in the Hornets backfield, but both Allure and Hopkins, very young, very talented backs for the Salt Lake team.
Give to Allure. He didn't get it. He might have gotten 1. Yep, they'll credit him with 1. And it sets up a 3rd and 1 as Zach Cobb makes his first tackle of the ballgame.
Yeah, one of the better outside linebackers in the league. Good stop there to force the 3rd down.
3rd and 1. Give. Allure. Nice cut to make the 1st down as he's tackled just beyond the 40. They'll mark him at the 42.
And that was all just Chris Allure right there. Just able to be patient, find any sort of room that he could get skinny through and get just the 1 yard that he needed. Got a couple extra on top of that, and Salt Lake will keep possession.
That hole looked like it was very small, but he was able to wiggle his way through. 1st and 10. Carter launches a moon ball to the end zone.
No
Did he
way.
catch that? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Salt Lake. Are you serious?
insane play by Noah Neely. We'll get another look here as Carter uncorks it. He had Neely back there, but man, Noah Neely able to reach up with one hand, reel it back in over the defender, and then get his other hand around it to secure the ball, come down, make the catch, and get the score for Salt Lake. What a play.
Oh man, talk about a big play down the field. Carter finds his man in the end zone as he just lofts a moon ball up to the sky, and it finds his man down there as Iron Leg boots it through. 75-yard drive in just 5 plays and already 115 passing yards for Salt Lake.
And man, we've got 2 first career touchdowns so far here for Salt Lake, all 14 points on the board. Noah Neely, that incredible catch for him is his first career UFL touchdown.
Oh, that's just incredible. It's one of those things where you take the ball from the equipment staff on the side, make sure you get that ball, and gonna frame it above your fireplace, that's for sure.
Yeah, that one's definitely a mantle ball for sure.
Iron Leg set to kick off. Jefferson waiting back deep. Wildcats down by a touchdown thanks to the acrobatics of Noah Neely. Relatively new player for this Hornets squad. As the Wildcats will come out 1st and 10 from the 25.
And Zach Oldorf's thinking to himself, man, we're going to get ourselves into a dogfight tonight. What do we got to do here in order to snatch a win here on the road?
He goes back to work at 1st and 10. Price, met immediately in the hole by the linebacker. That's going to be a loss of 3.
A lot of open spots, talented guys that haven't been claimed. Here's another one. Roosevelt Nixon, you saw him do that little spin move. There it is, right off the block there to get to the running back in the backfield. Great move. And as I mentioned, unclaimed, still available for anyone to hop on UFL.football. Claim him today.
Plenty of players available on both of these teams if you are interested. Price gets the carry again, but unable to do anything as Holland makes the tackle. And just like that, it's 3rd and long.
And much like Salt Lake, this is a recipe for disaster for this San Diego team. They do have Holdorf, who's a weapon with his legs. We've seen him use them, obviously, but any team that's forced with a down and distance of more than 10 on a 3rd down, it's going to be tough sledding.
They go 3 wide, 2 to the top of the screen. Holdorf to throw, goes to the bottom side for the whole thing, and catching is Johnson, who's away. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, San Diego, 78 yards.
It's almost as if Holdorf saw the play on the sideline that Salt Lake had to go ahead and take the lead, and he was like, here, all my Gatorade. It just uncorks this one. A great route by Rochelle Johnson to go ahead and get through Locke. And, man, beat him off the line. There was like 4 or 5 yards between Johnson and Locke on that play. Look at that. And a perfectly thrown ball by Holdorf to Johnson.
Man, San Diego is an extra point away from a tie. And just when it looked like Salt Lake was going to take control of the game, San Diego says, not so fast. 3 plays, 74 yards. The drive summary there. And Holdorf is now over 100 yards passing. He's at 108.
And I'll tell you, Colin, this game is a heck of a lot different than the game I called for these Hornets a couple weeks ago. They've already got 2 touchdowns on the board, which is 2 touchdowns more than they scored the entire game.
Indeed. You never know from week to week in the UFL what you'll get. It's like a box of chocolates, to borrow the line from Forrest Gump. 5:40 to go as we get set for the kickoff here in the first half. It's away. It'll be down to the end zone. Ball comes out to the 25 for the Hornets, 1st and 10.
And 5:40 to go. Both teams, all 3 timeouts. Get a look at Carter's numbers there. He's been very efficient, taking care of the football. slinging the rock around. It seems like both these teams, they might want to go to the passing attack a little bit more than they really intended.
Carter, quick drop back, throw to the side. Oh, nice catch by Adam West. Had to go up high for the ball. Gained 4 yards on the play. As Carter is now 8 of 10 with that completion.
Yeah, both West and Hill in the area on that there. I wonder if maybe Hill was the designed blocker and maybe Carter just flung that out a little bit too wide for West, but good catch there to reel it in and at least get a couple yards out of the deal.
Sets him up with a second and medium. Under center is Carter. Give to Allure, cut back middle. Ooh, showing off the power. Down a couple yards short of the sticks as we take under 5. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
And I held my breath a little bit there, Colin. It looked like that spin move was going to go back to the inside where it was wide open. No one was going to touch Allure if he had reservations for 6.
They give to Allure from the gun, and it doesn't work. Cobb shuts it down. Number 52 came flying in, and it's going to be 4th and inches. I'll be interested to see what the Hornets do here.
Again, great stop there by Cobb, just filling the gap there, recognizing where Allure was going. Just look at his eyes. He knows exactly where he's going, shoots that gap, and makes the stop.
Shout out to Ross on the play as well. He held up his man who was trying to get him past the line to gain. Help gum up the works there as straight catch is called at the 15.
Under 4 to go here as we see Johnson already over the century mark. 4th touchdown of the season on that last deep ball shot there from Holdorf. I mean, really anything is possible in this offense.
He's got 4 of Holdorf's 6 touchdown passes, so he's definitely the favorite target. They try to go back to him here, but a nice play made by Locke.
It looked like the Hornets defense doubling him up a little bit there, understanding that that's the weapon that they're going to want to hone in on in the passing attack. Johnson couldn't quite reel that one in.
2nd and 10. Quick drop to the side. They go to Johnson, but it doesn't get them very far, only to pick up a 2. No, that's the Armstrong. Pardon me, as Nixon makes the stop.
Now 3rd and 8 here. This is critical 3rd and 8.
From their own 17. Holdorf sees open grass. Ooh, slid short of the sticks. Trying to protect himself there, but alas, unable to pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, and not as much open space as he had on that 22-yard scamper he had earlier in the game. Looked like he was going to cut it towards the middle of the field, bounced it to the outside, didn't have as many blockers as he thought, had to slide and just take the 4th down.
The turn gets up to the 34. That's Hopkins there and Carter in the offense. Well, they're back to work. Allure's been quiet, Eric.
Yeah, and again, it looks like they might be focusing a little bit more on the passing attack with Jay Carter having himself a good night.
And they get to Allure up the middle, and he just kept running in a straight line before Cobb finally brought him down, but that's good enough for a 1st.
And that play's really interesting, Colin. They ran that right on the 1st possession. Wasn't really successful because they ran it pretty quickly, but that's designed to catch the defense off guard. You know, Carter gets right up under center, a little bit of a quick hike there from the center, Skippy Curtis, and off to the races the running back.
Throw underneath on the drag. It's going to get close to the midfield stripe as we reach the 2-minute warning. Barker on the reception. They're going to say it was 5 on the play. And we reached the 2-minute warning.
56, right there, 56. Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
And it's 1:58, 2nd and 5. Carter throws. Oh, nice catch made. Leaping grab a bit in front of the receiver, but Allure making it look easy.
Yeah, good job there by Allure to reach up and snag that one. A little bit of a high ball that Carter threw to him, but he knew he was wide open, tried to get it to him quickly and did.
I don't know how they go. Play action. Carter throws down the field, ball in the air and incomplete. Ooh, that could have been dangerous for Salt Lake, but alas, it hits the turf.
And it was good defense there by the secondary of San Diego to go ahead and force the incompletion there, bringing up second down.
Second and 10, Carter. Draw up the middle. Allure has all kinds of room, makes a move, and will get tackled at the 34. As it sits up a 3rd and 4, pick up a 6 there.
Only averaging about 3 yards a clip. San Diego's defense doing a nice job against Allure in this rushing attack for Salt Lake.
Carter to throw over the middle, knocked away. Had West open, but just threw it a little bit behind him. It'll be 4th and 4.
I think it was Schutz, the safety, that was in there and swatted it away. It was just good closing speed there. He was in coverage on West and actually saw the football come in behind him, just swatted the ball away to force the field goal attempt here by Iron Leg.
Alexander West put his hands out for it. He may be the intended receiver. Iron Leg's kick is good. 17-14, 67 seconds left in the first half. And Salt Lake has the lead thanks to number 10, Victor Iron.
And he stays perfect on the season, responsible for all of the points that Salt Lake had last week against Vegas. So he's continuing his hot streak, and Salt Lake retakes the lead. Just over 60 seconds to go here. Both teams, all 3 timeouts. We'll see what San Diego really has in store here. Holdorf, a little bit hot and cold tonight. He's had some moments where he's showing off the arm, obviously. He showed off the wheels. Let's see what he can do here in the 2-minute drill.
7th-year man from North Carolina. QB1 for San Diego. And they elect to return it. So this is going to burn some time off, though. 63 seconds and all 3 timeouts to work with. So return gets up to the 28-yard line.
Holdorf's been taking care of the football, Colin. I mean, only threw that one pick early on, but otherwise he's rebounded nicely.
He sure has. Had the long touchdown to Johnson. See what they do here with 63 seconds left. This Holdorf fires. It's complete for the first down past the 40. And San Diego not electing to call timeout as Woods got about 13 on the reception.
Yeah, they'll go no huddle, so a mandatory 10-second runoff happens. Cannot spike the football here.
Holdorf will take off up the middle again. He had room, but he lost the ball. Oh no, coming back the other way. It's the Hornets, and they're going to go. Oh, down to the 1-yard line. I thought that was going to be a house call.
It certainly had the makings of that there, Colin. Luke Patrico, unclaimed corner here for the Hornets. Just Johnny on the spot, right place, right time, able to pick up the football after Holdorf fumbled it and just maybe about a razor's edge away from getting into the end zone.
Either way, the ball's marked at the 1, and the offense is fired up for that one. As they get a instant goal-to-go opportunity as they line up from the shotgun. Second turnover committed by the Wildcats this evening. Going to be Allure dives over the top, touchdown.
Gutsy call there, Colin. Go ahead and doing a Superman dive into the linebackers, waiting for him at the goal line, but works out for him anyway as he's able to rebound. Oh, look at this. Just rebounds off of the linebacker and gets the football across the goal line.
He broke your plane, to borrow the quote from Fantasy Island, and the Hornets, in a blink of an eye, turned this into a 2-score game thanks to their defense.
Well, and that's both the pros and the cons of having a mobile quarterback is he could go ahead and make some things happen with his legs. but sometimes, you know, maybe a little bit of ball security issues. We saw it right there. Set Salt Lake up with an easy touchdown. And now San Diego scratching their heads with 30 seconds left to go here in the first half. Not wanting to go into the half down 2 possessions.
It'll be interesting to see what the strategy is. Remember, Salt Lake got the ball first. So the Wildcats. Another return by Jefferson up the middle, but we got a flag. Been a clean game until now. Gonna say it's a personal foul face mask on Salt Lake.
We've seen that a lot here in the UFL. A lot of happy hands, loose hands, getting up in the face mask area and doing a little extracurricular activity there. It didn't really work out for Salt Lake on that end.
Moves the ball up to the 40, first and 10, 27 seconds left. Row!
Oh,
It's intercepted! Locke gets it, and he's gonna take it all the way. Only Holdorf can beat him, and he cannot! Touchdown! Salt Lake!
Man, Colin, I told you, watch out for this lockdown corner. DeQuavius Locke just jumps the route here, knew exactly where the football was going, knew it was going to Johnson. Great coverage there. He jumps the route, and he is off to the races. Holdorf just can't quite catch up to him to save the touchdown. And man, oh man, this game got flipped on its head after 2 San Diego turnovers.
So Holdorf had only 2 interceptions coming in to this ball game so far. Through almost a half of this game, he's thrown 2 and he's lost a fumble. Iron leg, extra point up and good. Just some bizarre sequences there.
I mean, I don't think we had 45 points in one half on our Hugo cards here tonight.
37 for Salt Lake in week 1. Was the most points this season in the entire game, and they have 31 in the first half, Eric. Just crazy stuff.
Well, and this is what we were talking about with this defense. It's a very opportunistic defense. They have stars at very key positions, like at the cornerback position there with Locke, like Don Mariano there with the middle linebacker spot. And this causes problems with a lot of teams. Salt Lake might be one of those dark horse championship contenders this season. We don't know. It's very early on.
They're certainly not screwing around against a fellow Great West Conference opponent. As the return goes up to the 15. And San Diego will start from there. Holdorf is under center. Back behind him is Price, and they're going to throw. Down the field. Oh, nice catch made by one of the tight ends in there, and they called timeout with 9 seconds.
And, you know, I saw the formation they came out in, Colin. I was sitting here thinking, well, they might just run the clock out and go ahead and go to the half. They're going to get the football to start the second half. And then Holdorf comes out firing. So who knows? Maybe the offensive coaching staff is looking to go ahead and put the pedal to the metal and see what they can get out of this.
Holdorf certainly isn't shy despite the 3 turnovers. He's back to throw. Fires to the sideline behind everybody, incomplete.
And that was just a situation where he knew he had to get rid of the football in order to save a little bit of clock. Just threw it a little bit too far out of the outstretched arms of his intended receiver, so that way he could set up a Hail Mary here.
And with 4 seconds left, Holdorf is going to chuck a moon ball down the field. Look at the arm strike down to the 10, but ultimately it's the turf as the time hits 0. 31-14, our score here in the first half. Eric Vincent, we knew this could be an interesting game, but I don't think we'd expected this result.
No, we definitely didn't, especially considering that San Diego has put up more yards in the first half than Salt Lake. And it was a 17-14 game with about 5 minutes to go here in the first half. It was very back and forth the majority of this first half of play, but 2 costly turnovers here for the Wildcats set up 2 easy touchdowns for the Hornets, and now they're down by 17 looking to rebound here in the second half.
Well, they get the ball. Let's see what they do with it. Now a word from the UFL.
This presentation of the UFL is intended for the private use of our audience. Any accounts or descriptions of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Just some of the great stars here in the UFL. Thank you, Chris Curtis. As the kickoff is away. San Diego out of the end zone. Jefferson up the middle, keeping it high into his chest. Falls forward to the 27.
And good a time as any to go ahead and return that one. They've been kneeling those down in the end zone as we look at Holdorf's numbers. And we talked about it, Colin. It was a 17-14 game. They were only down 3 points. Holdorf was taking care of the football, rather, other than an early interception. Then he throws an interception and fumbles a football to set up 2 easy scores for the Hornets. Let's see how he rebounds.
Price up the middle. Will get stopped after a pickup of 3. 2nd and 7.
And it's a good start there. Go ahead and just get something easy going. See what you can get on the ground. They might be relying a little bit more on the ground game here until they need Holdorf to make a big play.
They go back to Price, but Mariano was ready for that one. He came flying in and records his 2nd TFL. You can easily see why he's a stud at middle linebacker.
He just continues to boggle my mind every time I see him on tape. I mean, he just gets free when he has no business being free at all on these plays. He just has a nose for the football.
Sets up a 3rd and 10, so they lost the yardage gained on the previous play. Going to be a Holdorf pass down the field into double coverage. Ooh. Holdorf's lucky that wasn't intercepted. Pass intended for the tight end down there. And not the greatest of starts here for the Wildcats.
No, I think it was either a poor route combo or it just wasn't run correctly because you had both Johnson and McCray in the same general area. I think Holdorf was actually trying to get to Johnson, but because McCray was in the area, threw up some confusion. There was double coverage in the area as a result, and just discombobulation there for the Wildcats.
Punt is away. Hornets will only get it at their 20 as Hopkins is nailed again. Carter's been efficient for the Hornets, Eric, but he's had plenty of help.
And we talked about it. I mean, this defense, very opportunistic defense, and any offense is pretty good when you give them a goal-to-go situation.
Run up the middle, Allure. Nice gain for that young man. He picks up 7, has the rushing touchdown from a yard out. McGregor also has one, the fullback. 2nd and 3 as they line up from the gun. Carter, the left-hander, back to throw. Has pressure in his face, throws to the sideline, and it's incomplete.
Well out of bounds on that one. No chance of making the catch there. So 3rd and 3 upcoming.
See some scores from the week scrolling across the screen. How about those Dakota Rhinos being the Minnesota Chippers at the last possible minute as time expires? That was great.
That was a wild game to watch.
First down made by Neely, who had the touchdown reception earlier in this ball game. How about Vegas defeating an Atomics team that has been no slouch?
Yeah, and then Houston going on the road in the snow to beat undefeated Rochester. I mean, we had a lot of games where you thought it was going to go one way and it went the complete opposite direction.
Motor City takes the loss to Milwaukee at home as Carter's back to throw. Throws over the middle. Adam West with the catch. And he's out to the 45. Another first down for Salt Lake.
And Salt Lake just building on this momentum that they've accumulated here since those turnovers that they got just in the end of the first half there, and just continuing to move the football.
Here's Allure up the middle. And let's bring in our AI expert, Cameron Irvine, to talk about momentum. We've brought it up a lot. Cam, what's your perspective on it?
Yeah, so Madden's kind of funny, right? A couple of years ago, they actually started putting a sort of a nice run by Allure there, a sort of a momentum meter, right, on the score bug, and it would kind of move as the game went along. That's actually just displaying code, but games have had momentum in them, football games, for years. I mean, we even see it in our other leagues here. Games from 20 years old, you can tell momentum. And I think that's what we've seen right now with San Diego and Zach Holdorf. They go 3 and out. They don't want to run. They don't want to pass the ball necessarily. We'll put it in Holdorf's hands to start the second half because the momentum is just all on Salt Lake right now. It's just fascinating to watch. Sometimes the game can just get out of hand. San Diego needs to take it back.
Carter, play action over the middle, catch made, and running down inside the 10-yard line for a 25-yard pickup there is Alexander West.
And Cameron Irvine is absolutely correct on this. San Diego's got to do something on the defensive end to get some of this momentum back because it is just all Salt Lake. They're just playing backyard football out there. I mean, just pitch and catch, no real worries in the world, and that's sometimes the most freeing feeling that you can get as a football player.
And it is a helpless feeling on the other side if you're in all white for San Diego. Although a nice stop there on Allure. He only gets out to the 7. Franks continues to fill up the stat sheet for him personally. That's his 6th tackle. Carter will line up in the I formation. He's got Hopkins, the deep back now, McGregor, the man in front. Second man through is Hopkins, falling forward to about the 1, they'll call it. It'll be 3rd and goal.
And man, if San Diego is able to get out of here with a field goal attempt by Salt Lake, that'll be a huge win for them on defense, and hopefully they can take some of this momentum on offense.
A run, and Allure finds a crease and gets into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the evening.
And, you know, the rich get richer, and, you know, Allure just doing a nice job. He's had a couple of runs like that. Hasn't had too many flashy runs, but he's had a lot of runs like that, where it's good, patient running of the football, finding just a little bit of a crease where he could get through and make a play. That time it's for 6 points.
James Corey was engaged with his blocker there. And you don't need a lot of room down there in that tight area. And Salt Lake able to cash it in. 10 plays, 80 yards. 4 minutes and 37 seconds taken off the clock.
And Salt Lake just doing a good job running their offense. Like I said, they're just out there playing backyard football. A little pitch and catch, running their offense just like they're running a Friday walkthrough. And it's just a good job there by the Hornets offense, especially we were talking about, you know, coming into this game, there were a lot of question marks surrounding this offensive unit. And, you know, defense obviously has put them up and set them up for success, but this Salt Lake offense has played very, very well tonight.
This is going to be fielded about the goal line. Jefferson up the middle across the 20, 25, and they'll mark him down at the 28. Man, I tell you what, this Wildcat team, they got to feel like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. It certainly seems that way. I mean, 24 unanswered points since it was a tie ball game at 14 all. And now Zach Holdorf and company are left scratching their heads like, man, what did we get ourselves into?
It's going to be a pass over the middle. Oh, nice catch and reception made for San Diego there. That's Jefferson who picks up 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
And it's a good sign from San Diego's offense to find someone other than Johnson to go ahead and catch the football. I think that's playing into a lot of what Salt Lake's doing defensively.
Holdorf out of an empty shotgun, throws over the middle, catch made. That is for the first down. That's number 84 program. Holds it in.
Zanell Harris, top-rated tight end number 1 in this offense, unclaimed.
Young man, first year with San Diego's Price up the middle. They'll gain 6, 2nd and 4 upcoming.
And it's a good offensive possession here for the Wildcats. Problem is when you start to matriculate the ball down the field, being down 24 points, sometimes you got to hit the gas a little bit.
Price picks up the first down. No, they didn't give it to him. I thought he got it in real time, but alas, he's still a yard short.
I'm with you there, Colin. I thought he got the first down, but looks like they're going to mark him just shy. 3rd and short. Big 3rd down here for the Wildcats.
Here's to get the Price up the middle, and he has a first down over the 40.
Yeah, good blocking up front there. You see the stat, 4 yards after contact for Price here tonight. He's done a good job running the football. And, I mean, a good hole here. I mean, the fullback comes out, lays a hit on the linebacker. Price is able to do the rest, get a good chunk of about 6 yards, move the sticks, keep the offensive possession alive for the Wildcats.
And he continues to show why he was a first-round talent, taken 29th overall in his draft class. He gets the ball up the middle here, and he gets tackled short of the 30. They'll mark him at the 33.
Best rushing, best we've seen this rushing attack look, I should say, here for the Wildcats. Well, the problem is they're down 24 and they're continuing to run the clock. Holdorf's going to have to put the ball in his hands.
And now over 100 yards as the team. Holdorf throws, catch made. That is Nicholas McCray dragging across the middle of the field. Good enough for Sandy to get first down.
Yeah, good job there by McCray on the crosser, like you said, Colin. Maybe could have just kept on going towards the sideline, might have beat the linebacker, but cut it back inside, gave the linebacker an opportunity to make the stop.
They're going to give to the second tailback through the hole. That is Corbin McNeil. Picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
3rd quarter starting to tick down. San Diego getting within striking range here. A touchdown would do wonders here for their offensive momentum.
Fake to Price. Holdorf on the rollout. It will scramble, hits the sideline before he gets knocked out of bounds. To set up a 3rd and 3 situation. Ball is marked at the 22.
Holdorf ran the ball for 45 yards last week, 51 yards, and a touchdown here tonight.
He gives to Price from the gun, and it doesn't work. Combo tackle made Glover. That's his 9th tackle on the ball game. He's been all over the place this drive.
Man, and I'm curious as to why maybe Price cut it back inside. That was not where the play design was. That wasn't where the blocking was. And sure enough, the linebackers able to eat him up in the inside and force the 4th down.
They're going to elect to try the field goal here. Get on the board and stop the bleeding, and they do. It's now 38-17 with 31 seconds left.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what you said, Colin. It's just a little bit of a feel-good moment, right? You know, you're down multiple scores. Kicking that field goal here makes it a 3-touchdown game. 3rd quarter just about to an end. Gonna have to get your defense to get you some stops and get you the football back, but had to get some points on the board there.
This is a San Diego team coming in that allows only 13 per game, lowest in the league. And ever since the 14-14 tie, their last score was that 75-yard reception by Johnson. And their previous high for most points allowed was in week 1 when Vegas only managed to score 20 on them. So talk about getting hit in the head with a steel chair. This defense, they've been woozing.
Yeah, no kidding. You tune in for a little UFL football action. Instead, you get an episode of SmackDown.
Chris Allure, 65 yards on the day, 2 rushing touchdowns. Total yards close, but Salt Lake
watch out.
Dominating it. Ross gets a sack there, his 2nd of the ball game.
Yeah, and Alexander Ross just came clean off the edge there, Colin. That rollout, it didn't fool him one bit. And once again, they're double teaming him, it looked like. Looked like maybe West got a jab there. And then the left tackle just got a little bit lost in the sauce, I think. And that was Mia Pangori. Couldn't quite make any sort of contact, and it was an easy sack there on Carter.
Lost a 9 on the play, 2nd and 19. They line up in the pistol with 3 people in the backfield. And they're unable to get this off as we ended the 3rd quarter. Salt Lake in firm control of 38-17. Colin Northup, Eric Vincent here in the broadcast booth with you. And so far, that 24-point second quarter by the Hornets looming large in this ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carter throws. It's going to be Alexander West. His tackle just past the 30. We have a sellout in Salt Lake this evening. 43,552. Boy, these Hornets have been off to a blistering start so far this year. The fans show their appreciation. They'll lure up the middle. Couple nice moves and will get tackled short of the 50. Just their 2nd home game of the year. First sellout for these Hornets.
Yeah, and that's a lot of black and yellow. I mean, and these fans have been loud here all night long, just making it a little bit tougher here for San Diego. I mean, obviously they've had really one bad quarter. Otherwise, they've played this Salt Lake team pretty tough. But, I mean, one bad quarter could spell doom for you.
There's the give to Allure again. Cobb with a fierce takedown. Only limits the pickup to 1. 2nd and 9. 2 tight ends, a balanced line. Snap goes to Allure. No, that's Hopkins keeping both hands around the ball. His best run. As he gets another first out.
Yeah, both Allure and Hopkins are very talented backs, and they both have similar running styles as well. Hopkins a little bit beefier than Chris Allure. I mean, he's listed at 5'10", 193, or at least you would think so. Chris Allure listed at 6 foot 206 in your programs. As we all know, those numbers are a little fudged.
Allure gets the ball again, wrapping both hands around the ball, spinning forward as he goes down. They're going to say picked up 9.5.
And again, Salt Lake just able to do whatever it is that they want to do at this point. They've got all the momentum firmly in their back pocket, and they're just running their offense.
Allure up the middle. Oh, nice move. Attempted there, but Franks again. He's up close to double-digit tackles. That's his 8th. High formation, 1st and 10. Hopkins on the carry. Ooh, he got stuck really hard by the corner out there, but he got 4 yards for the trouble.
And again, Salt Lake just content with running the football, keeping the ball on the ground, run the clock. Up by 3 scores, no need to put the ball in danger.
Here's Allure wrapping both hands around the ball, absorbs a big hit from one of the secondary people, and that was Zach Morgan. 3rd and 1 upcoming.
And again, San Diego will have to get a stop, but I don't know. That might be offsides, and it is.
Oh, just a mental lapse at the worst possible time. Dedrick Blasingame thought he knew the ball was going to get snapped soon, but alas, he was caught moving across, and that'll net him another first down.
And that's a killer penalty right there. I was just about to say, Colin, that's a key 3rd down for the Wildcats. See if you can get Salt Lake off the field, maybe force a field goal, get yourselves back in this ball game, and now they've got an opportunity in the end zone.
Carter throws. West had it in his hands. Adam West, that is, but alas, it hits the ground. 2nd and 10.
First real pass I think we've seen from Carter on this drive, and just good route there, but better defense there from the Wildcats.
Draw up the middle. Allure. Ooh, he got wrestled down to the ground. But number 94 there, Dingwell.
6'3", 319, wouldn't want to beat him in a dark alley, and that was essentially what happened to poor Allure right there in the middle of the field. Brings up third down.
3rd and 10. Allure again with the ball. Blasting game with the stop. So San Diego does get the field goal. But as you pointed out earlier, Eric, that clock just continues to wind down.
Yep, and that's more so what the killer piece of it was. You know, and obviously if Salt Lake added another touchdown to the board, it would have been worse. Thankfully for San Diego, able to hold them to a field goal attempt, as that's up and good from Iron Leg. But man, oh man, clock continuing to roll as we're about 6 minutes in, or 6 minutes away from regulation being over. San Diego running out of opportunities to get themselves back in this game.
Field goal is good. It's 41-17 to score now. 6:11 left. For Salt Lake, they don't play for a while. They'll play back home in San Diego against the LA Aztecs. That'll be their next contest. Iron Legs kick is deep and out. Ball comes out to the 25.
So Colin, we talked about, you know, the reasoning maybe possibly behind going for a field goal as opposed to a touchdown on San Diego's last possession, and now a good 5-6 minutes have gone off the clock since that point in time.
Rowe is, no, that's Price. If they're going to get a face mask on Salt Lake. It's Aker there. Going to be the 15-yard variety, moves the ball up to the 42.
Yeah, sigh of relief breathed for San Diego. They can get a free 15 yards on that one.
55 is my guy, 55.
And Holdart. Fire. Oh! Nice hit made on Johnson there. As it looked like the catch was going to be made, but not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, Locke, big hit on the back end there, jarring the football loose from Johnson.
Salt Lake plays the Chicago Dragons next in the Windy City before returning home to play the Wichita Flyers. That should be an interesting game, man.
Yeah, that'll definitely be an interesting game. Wichita, another intriguing team to watch.
53 is the mic. 53 is the mic.
Holdorf is back to throw. Sees the middle open like the Red Sea, and he picks up another huge chunk of yards down to the 27.
And that's the type of quarterback that Holdorf is. If he sees a lane like that open up, he is just going to tuck the football and go.
He's back to throw again. Decides to take off again, and why not? He has the first down. Oh, flag. Second penalty in the drive committed by the Hornets, and that'll move the ball 15 yards closer, this time down to the 8. Lopez called.
Yeah, and a couple killer face mask penalties here on this drive for the Salt Lake defense. They didn't have such a large cushion. It probably hurt them a little bit more here, but San Diego playing from their heels.
Hobart doesn't see anything downfield, takes off, and will get tackled near the line of scrimmage. No gain call. Second and goal, no huddle. Holdart back to throw. Holdart tried to dump it to Price, but ooh, knocked away by the linebacker.
Yeah, just threw it off his back foot a little bit there. Didn't quite get everything on the football, so the ball floated on him a bit. Price not able to reel it in, and San Diego's lucky that's not another interception.
Third and goal from the 8. Holdart back to throw to the end zone. He goes knocked down Locke again on the receiver there.
Yeah, and Locke has been playing fantastically all night long, this time in coverage on Jacoby Woods, and just does a good job staying in his hip pocket, really nowhere to throw the football.
They don't have much of a choice. They line up to go for it. They're going to play action to Price, throw to the end zone, knocked away, turnover on downs. Hornets turn away the Wildcats deep in the red zone.
Yeah, and not a great play call this deep in enemy territory here. The route was just taking the receiver all the way through the back of the end zone. Not really much that Holdorf could do on that one. Had him open, but good recovery there by the secondary to swat the ball away. And now San Diego, they are hearing some nails in the coffin.
Ready, ready. Mike, 15 Lonnie.
So Salt Lake,
Hey, we heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges. Hunt up.
they had the team right behind them, the Vegas Devils, feed Albuquerque. There's a war. They get knocked out of bounds. Around 20, he's up over 100 yards for the day.
And that's what they've been looking for. They've been looking for Allure to have a little bit of a breakout game, and sure enough, he's had it today based off of the success of this defense here, giving them the football in manageable situations.
Buck stopped at 4:30. Salt Lake just continuing to feed these stable backs as Allure. Oh man, it looked like he shot out of a cannon there, Eric.
Yeah, and great blocking up front. San Diego's offensive line has played better as the game has gone along, especially in the rushing attack. And you could see it right there as it was just a huge gaping hole for Allure to run through.
Gippy Curtis leading the way. Center there, she'll snap the ball to Carter, who will give it to Hopkins. Hopkins, ooh, he gets met in the hole immediately by Morgan, his second tackle. I'm going to credit him with 2 yards. Second and 8. Allure off left tackle. Oh! One more block and he could have busted it open. He's now up to 140.
Man, he didn't even need blocking on that one, Colin. He was just running through guys. I mean, just a huge head of speed, able to find a little bit of a crease. It was just running through defenders. It didn't matter who was there.
248. They line up with 3 tight ends. 2 tight ends, rather, 1 wide receiver. Needs to get to Allure, wrap both hands around the ball. And picks up 3, second and 7. Cobb with his 5th tackle.
Season high for Allure tonight as well, up to 143. Previous season high was at 109, so breakout game for him tonight.
We reached the 2-minute warning. We're watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. Colin Northup, DK Benson here in the booth with you. Cameron Irvine, our AI expert. 3rd and 7 here. From the pistol. Allure up the middle, gets the first down. And down he goes as he's approaching 30 carries. Want to bring in our AI expert, Cameron Irvine, to talk about San Diego's decision to kick the field goal at the end of the 3rd, or the play call on 4th, and the play call on 4th down, Cam, was unusual.
Yeah, you know, what we've discovered here recently is that red zone offense, red zone play calling can come out of the red zone portion of a playbook, or it can come out of whatever the down and distance portion is of the playbook, unless the red zone plays specifically have higher priority. So a lot of teams that, like San Diego, that may have been winning over the past few weeks, have not had any kind of red zone offensive tweaks or anything like that. We saw Vegas put up 41 tonight. They got a red zone bump. this week, just as an example. And that play that they called there on 4th down was not, like you said, it kind of took the receiver out of the end zone, as you see San Diego not calling timeouts here. So that's why they did that. As far as the field goal in the 3rd quarter for San Diego, that's just a tough part of the code, because you're at the end of the 3rd. It's still the 3rd quarter. There's still a lot of game left, but unfortunately their defense just could not get off the field tonight.
Thank you, Cam. 3rd and inches. It's going to be a 41st rush attempt for the team. Hopkins will pick up the 1st down, and the gun sounds, and the Salt Lake Hornets extend their division lead out. They have defeated the San Diego Wildcats by a score of 41-17. And just an impressive performance all around by the boys in yellow and black. And for the Two-Tone Blue Wildcats, they got to pick up the pieces, Eric.
Yeah, and really, Colin, it wasn't an overall terrible game. Obviously, you look at the score and you're wondering, Eric, what are you talking about? This was a blowout. Yes, but let's look at the 2nd quarter. That was really the only quarter that San Diego played badly, and they played it badly. They turned the football over 2 times, set up Salt Lake with easy scoring opportunities, and credit to the Hornets. They took advantage of those opportunities and got 14 points on the board, ended up scoring 24 unanswered, and that, unfortunately for San Diego, was the Wildcats' undoing.
Good game all around. Chris Allure, player of the game, but you could easily give it to Jay Carter, almost 200 yards passing of the day. Special thanks once again to my broadcast partner for the week, Eric Vincent, and of course Cameron Irvine, UFL co-founder, in-house AI expert. Plenty of players making huge impacts. Johnson adds another touchdown to their stats. We'll see what adjustments the Wildcats elect to make as they lose for the first time since opening week. Their win streak snapped. For my broadcast partner, Eric Vincent, Colin Northup, saying good night and good luck.